problem now is, of course, demonstrations and violence is occurring in Hong Kong, and that will not lead to a successful outcome if it goes on, and that's not a good thing for the central government, it's not a good thing for Hong Kong. But most of all, let us look at where Hong Kong is right now. The Chinese government has shown the greatest respect and the greatest admiration for Hong Kong and the people of Hong Kong by announcing the Greater Bay Area. This is a successor to the Pearl River Delta. It's a much smaller area. It's concentrated around 12 cities, led by Hong Kong and Shenzhen, with Guangzhou playing a very important part as well in the future. And this area reminds me a great deal of the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone. And Shenzhen Special Economic Zone transformed a small fishing village into one of the world's leading cities today. It is not an accident that companies like Alibaba, Tencent, Huawei built and developed their capability for international as well as national development in Shenzhen. It is a very open, free environment in which to grow and develop. And Hong Kong and Shenzhen can have a wonderful opportunity to lead the Greater Bay Area. You know, here is Hong Kong standing at the beginning of one of the greatest opportunities they will ever have, probably will ever have, and they're fighting in the streets. And it doesn't make sense. They need to be focused on the Greater Bay Area. They need to be working with the other 11 cities, including especially Shenzhen, to form a clear idea of how to develop a Greater Bay Area which is probably unparalleled in the world. So I say to the people of Hong Kong, now is the time to participate actively and not create a bad impression in the fellow countries and in the fellow citizens and cities of the Greater Bay Area. It's not an easy time for young people. It's a time of great change, and they have some concerns. One of them I understand very well is the enormously high price of property in Hong Kong. That creates a very great difficulty for young people to find their homes, to build their families, and that's not right. And it needs to be solved and address that problem. Hong Kong will have to go through a period of coming to terms with what has happened. And who knows how fast the Greater Bay Area will move. And Hong Kong is part of China, and it's going to stay part of China. And Hong Kong and China both have their clear positions on the government and the way that the government of Hong Kong and the government of China will operate. And it is one country, two systems. And the rule of law is still independent and works well in Hong Kong. There are, of course, different opinions about how effective one country, two systems is, but I don't see any evidence that the people of Hong Kong's life and the way I see Hong Kong operating internationally and nationally has changed a great deal from before. One thing is for sure, that either Hong Kong quietens down and allows the changes to be made, or it will be quietened down and then the changes will be made. One thing's for sure, the changes will happen and the opportunities will be there, but it may be that the Greater Bay Area will have moved faster than Hong Kong moves. And that's my great worry, is that the leaders of Hong Kong are not focusing on the future, they're focusing on the present. My worry about the demonstrators is they're focusing on the present and not the future, and Hong Kong may suffer as a consequence. So I hope Hong Kong will find the way to get through this difficult period and calm down and be more coherent about the changes that it wants, but no changes are going to come from demonstrations and violence in the street. My advice is focus on the Greater Bay Area, focus on developing your lives effectively. I believe the central government will listen to your concerns